Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about another video game. Big shocker there. This time it's a game called Mordhau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, it's an online multiplayer game called Mordhau. There is, a lot to do in this game. There's four online modes. There's a battle royale mode, a horde mode, an invasion mode, which is kind of like a castle siege kind of a scenario. And then there's just an open battlefield mode where you're going and trying to take points from each other. All of the gameplay that we'll be using today for the video is going to be from that battlefield mode. And I'm going to give you fair warning if the footage hasn't already made it obvious. I kind of suck at this game, but I really do enjoy it. There's really like a lot to enjoy here with this game. So what is Mordhau? Mordhau is a medieval style game in the sense that, it's all melee weapons and archery and stuff like that. And the focus is on the combat being fairly realistic, and I think they did a pretty good job with that. If I'm being honest, I think they did a pretty good job. If you've played like For Honor or Kingdom Come Deliverance, you'll kind of have the general gist of how like the directional combat system in this game will work, but it's a lot more open and definitely a lot more skill based, I think, in my experience, because I do all right in For Honor and I'm pretty good at Kingdom Come Deliverance, but here not as good, probably because I'm not playing against AIs, I'm playing against actual players. I guess I'm also doing that in For Honor though. That game's a little more simple than this. And you can create your character and gear him up however you want. There is obvious, restrictions. You just can't just like set up a dude with heavy armor and all the best weapons and a shield and everything. There's like a budget, if you will, worth of points, and whatever you don't spend on gear, you can get perks, and those perks will definitely have their own benefits. Based on whatever it is that you're trying to build the character for. So you'll see in the gameplay that I've got a variety of characters that I use. I'm not really good at any of them, but they're all there. So you'll find that there's people who play characters that are more serious, like a couple of my characters are, and you'll find people who play characters that are definitely not serious, like a couple of my other characters are. So it's worth bearing in mind that with this game there's going to be plenty of trolls. I know for a little while I was on a mission to play the loot in the midst of every heated battle that I could, and I did for a little while. I was really tearing it up, and I got yelled at by a lot of my teammates, but it was fun. That's really all that matters. That's what games are about, right? Video games are about having fun. That is the whole point, whether you're good at them or not. So, yeah, overall though, graphically, the game looks pretty good. Honestly, the game looks very good. It's very gritty, very violent. There's a harsh learning curve. I'll just go ahead and put that right there on the front cover. There's a harsh learning curve. It is 83% positive on Steam. The game's not perfect. It's got its issues, but it is very good. And they're updating it as they go. They're updating it, working on it, tweaking it, fixing it, all them other goodies. But it's very violent, and I think we all enjoy that about it, honestly. So if you were to want to get your hands on it, that would cost you $30. $29.99 on Steam is the regular price, or there's a supporter bundle for another $10 or so. Not too bad. I don't know what all comes in the supporter pack. Let's find out. The supporter pack comes with the soundtrack, an in-game wearable cosmetic medallion, and an in-game banner. So it's all cosmetic stuff. It's a couple of cosmetic items and a soundtrack. That's not too bad. The music's good. The sound design in general is good. I know I haven't really spent a whole lot of time talking about sound design in video games before, but the sound design here is definitely pretty good. Now, if you have a hard time keeping an internet connection going that's going to support you playing a game online, then you might have a little bit of a bad time. I know sometimes my internet has hiccups and my ping shoots way up, and I have a pretty bad time in this game. And it's the same with like Smite or like even simpler shit like playing a slower paced strategy game like Northgard or something with a friend. You know, sometimes my internet just doesn't really allow it. There's also it's also worth mentioning, I should say, that the game is built around the idea of like, you know, being sociable. Like when you're waiting for enough people to show up for your battle royale mode, it puts all the people that are waiting on a map together with no equipment, and yeah, you guys can box. That was the thing that I enjoyed when I played the game previously. The battle royale mode's actually pretty good. I admit that I'm biased, but I think it's a lot better than Fortnite. But it's the game's fun. It's got a variety of modes. It's all online though, so again, if playing online is an issue for you, then you might want to give this one a pass. But if you can maintain a solid connection at least for a little while, you should have yourself a good time. Especially if you like these melee first-person, like hardcore medieval combat games, because I would definitely say that this game gives that more hardcore vibe. I don't know if the community thinks that it's hardcore or not, but like just the way that the game moves and carries itself, it gives that vibe where it feels like it's hardcore. So that's a thing worth considering as well. You'll have access to emotes and all kinds of other goodies. You'll hear people rambling and shouting their characters and stuff. Like I said, you've got a pretty solid character creator, actually, considering the kind of game that this is. So, like, you can even do a little bit of role play, a little bit of personal role play, you know, and like write up backstories for all the dudes in your mercenary company. Where'd they come from? Who are they? What do they do? And so on and so forth. You know, if you're one of the creative types who likes to do that, I know I like to do that with characters that I create in video games, and it helps me get attached to them, and it helps me play harder to try and keep them alive. Oh, I did that in Grand Theft Auto Online. I put together this whole backstory for my GTA Online character. So, hey, if that's something you're into doing, there you go. That's the thing you can do. If it's not something you're into doing, then, well, it's not something you're into doing. So I guess you're not going to do it. Are you? Overall, though, I give this game a recommendation. I enjoy it. I think it's a good time. I think it's a very good time. I think this game is a really good idea. I know it's not the most unique or original idea. The combat system isn't exactly brand new to this game or anything either. Like, it's not exactly bringing something completely brand new to the table. But what it is doing is it's taking things that exist and refining them and putting them together in a way that we may not have seen done before. Like, we've seen battle royales before, but how many battle royales come out that are first-person melee games where you have to find armor and as well as weapons and stuff? You know, most battle royales that I'm aware of, they tend to be shooters, and that tends to be the type of gameplay that the genre feels most comfortable with is the first-person shooter. So the first-person melee feels like a step away from that tradition, or even stereotype if you want to call it that, and kind of breathes a little bit of fresh air into that. And that's only 1/4 of the variants that are currently in the game. There's nothing stopping them from adding even more variants down the line as well. And as far as like the directional melee combat, they've fine-tuned it to a point beyond where Kingdom Come Deliverance has it. They fine-tuned it beyond the point where Mountain Blade has it. They've fine-tuned it beyond the point where For Honor has it. So I'd say that of all the games that I've played that are directional melee combat specifically, I'd say this one probably has the most detailed, intense, and difficult to master combat system. Attacking and blocking and stabbing and all of that, dodging and everything, it all has a certain flow, and that flow is considerably different depending on what kind of weapon you're using. And it's hard to learn. It's definitely a challenge to learn this game. This is a very challenging game. And the community is not going to go easy on you just because you're new. That's like, if you played Halo back in the days, when Halo was great, back with like Halo 3 or Halo Reach, if you played your first game of Halo ever, and you told the whole lobby, hey, this is my first game, they're not going to go easy on you. They might be nice to you, they might welcome you, sure, but like at the end of the day, a new player is free kills a lot of the time. So, but it's a trial by fire kind of experience that this game offers. It will beat you down until you figure out how to fight back. And if you stay determined and continue to push and try things and push back and resist this consistent ass whooping, then you might just find yourself having a good time and learning how to fight back. And before long, you'll find yourself getting some kills. You might not be going positive every game yet, but you'll get a couple kills here and there. And if you stay on that trajectory, you just might become great at the game. And at that point, that's satisfying. That's genuine satisfaction right there. If you go from, being just your team's free kills for the other team to being a main contributor to your team's kills, that's a big deal. And it's a very satisfying experience. But I think that that's a good place to go ahead and cut it. I definitely, like I said, I recommend this game. I enjoy it. It's a fun game. It's hard. It's very difficult, but it is fun once you get past that initial difficulty curve and get to the point where you can start playing. And yeah, thank you guys for joining me on this little adventure. Like, comment, subscribe, grief the bell button if you'd like to, dislike if you'd like to. Whatever you think, you're entitled to that, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. But for now, I will see you fucking later. I fucked that up, didn't I? It's I will fucking see you later. There we go.